Hello, good evening. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello. How's your family doing? Family's doing all right. The wife is struggling with late pregnancy. Our son is coming soon, so she has it tough. But otherwise, I mean, I'm doing good. Our daughter is doing great. Nothing to complain about. I'm not the one that's pregnant, so um, give us copium, Don. Yeah, I mean it's not that bad. No, doesn't look that bad today. We'll talk about it. XRP's up 10% because they won the SEC case. That's nice. Bitcoin's up 3%, even more nice. So audio video good, my friend. Thank you, appreciate it. I feel like an idiot whenever it's not. Like when I talk into the mic and then I've gone on for like 3 minutes until someone in the chat is like, "Hey, dude, you're being a moron. We're actually not hearing you." It's a struggle, but it's fine. I recently took an English test, and I apparently am quite alright in English, but really bad at writing it, which you wouldn't think if you ever read the newsletter. But then again, it wasn't really me, huh? But yeah, that was an interesting experience. Been a while since I caught you live. Yeah, I've not seen you around in a while. I mean, to be honest, like look at the price. Not that interesting. Besides today's good. We'll talk about it. We'll talk of Bitcoin. We'll talk about some altcoins. Not that many. Don't really have that much time. What kind of test? Just an official English test to um, that you have to do if you want to move to an English-speaking country, which I might want to do. I missed the newsletter. Yeah, yeah, me too. But it's already hard enough to get credit for the Friday show. Surely not okay. UK. Yeah, yeah. I want to move from grey Germany to grey, rainy UK. That is the plan. Um, are you and your wife still fighting over which country has the best bread? I mean, no, but she still maintains the idea that it's France because to her baguette is bread. And I have been educated that to most people in the world, baguette is bread. To me, as a German guy, I've baguette is baguette and bread is bread. But um, I do agree with her that the baguette from France is the best baguette. But also the bread, excluding baguette, is just better in Germany. But yeah. Um, Don's voice modulator is broken. That's why there's no cred. Jesus Christ. Don, at which age did you become financially free so you could quit the 9 to 5 grind? Dude, everyone knows when I started. So if I tell you at which age, people can figure out how old I am, and then they're gonna not listen to me because I'm a cringe boomer. So can't really tell you that. But I studied and traded on the side and was so successful that I was able to stop studying and go full time trading, and have never looked back since. So that gives you a rough idea. Wait, why are you moving to UK? I'm not moving to the UK. It's not as much as I love credit. You couldn't pay me to move to the UK. Don, where are you going? I will tell people once I actually 100% know. Until then, it's just all speculation. Anyway, should we start? Or do you guys just want to do like a Q&A? Like it looks like for some reason people are very, very interested in my opinion about baguettes and bread today. Dubai 100%. People really don't know me on here. Jesus. Anyway, shout out to Woo for sponsoring the show. Really appreciate their support. Go check them out. Their links are in the description below. So now we have that out of the way, we can actually start. Don't tell me it's the US. Dude, have you not heard the news? The US actually has put a bunch of German people in prisons for the hell of it. It's been in the German news. Bunch of people have been detained. Not necessarily great at airports and everything. So Germans really don't want to come to the US anymore. It's a big thing. Baguette is more interesting than the market right now. I mean, dude, like Bitcoin's up. Bitcoin's up. So we'll start with that. Monthly is still the same as always. The weekly time frame. Look at that. Look at that. The second green weekly in a row. Didn't think I would see the day, but it is green for now. It's interesting. It's interesting because right now, technically, this is quite bearish, right? We closed below the range. But, and I mean, I am still a hopeful little duck, but there's a chance that this was all just a shakeout below the range and we actually reclaim it, and then it starts looking really good really fast, right? And that's kind of where my head's at. I'm just chilling, just doing nothing, enjoying the early summer sun, and that's kind of where my head's at. But technically speaking, from the TA that we have available, this is obviously a breakdown, and as I told you guys when we're trading at 73, you shouldn't really fade breakouts or breakdowns before they've been confirmed to be false, right? People always, this is like legit something that happens all the time. You have a breakout and everyone, the moment it breaks out, everyone talks about shorting it. Same thing obviously to the downside. It breaks down and people are like, okay, now I need to long. Funny thing is, to me at least, if it breaks down, you're much better off than when it breaks out to fade it. In my experience, whenever you have breakdowns, there's a good chance that you get a reversal like this. Whereas with breakouts, they usually just tend to keep going. Now that's obviously just me saying like, hey, this market generally tends to go up, right? And that is just the case, right? Like just overall, from like all the way back in 2016, even before then, obviously, this thing went from $1 to 100K. So generally, obviously, when something's bullish, more often than not, like, or has been bullish more often than not, the bullish signals are the ones that are gonna just generally betting on the upside has been the play, right? This is just generally something that I've noticed. Makes sense just with that background, right? The market has gone up, so oftentimes like false breakouts or like false breakdowns do reclaim like they did here, but sometimes they don't, right? And when they don't, and you're like, oh, let me fade this right here, and then you get completely run over, right? So generally, gotta be a little bit careful. I think it's like when you've not been like in the market for a long time and you're not entirely sure which signals to trust, the easiest kind of rule of thumb is just, if it breaks out, it's probably gonna go higher. If it breaks down, it's probably gonna go lower, just generally. But obviously the market has just generally always gone up, so the breakdown signal is a worse one than the breakout signal. Have we got a baguette pattern? Dude, everyone's still talking about it. I forgot what the color green looked like. Yeah, it's a good change, huh? Yeah, I heard they are detaining even people with green cards. Yeah, it's actually crazy. Like, and this is not really in the media in America, but there has been a lot of just I mean, the policy changed, and changed quite drastically, and people don't really know what to make of it. And then a lot of mistakes happen. It makes a lot of sense, right? You have to give a little bit of like the benefit of the doubt, where you're like, okay, if things change drastically, people are not really used to the new status quo, and then they make mistakes. But just generally, it's also like that's just unacceptable behavior, right? Like you go to a country and then you don't do anything wrong, and you're detained on the floor of the airport for days. It's awful. It's not how civilized society should be, but it's how it is right now. Agree, it's in the news here in Canada as well. Visa holders getting detained. Yeah, it's bad. In America, it's not really that big news. I have at least not seen any of it. The only reason why I know about it is because, like, I don't really watch German media. The only news that I get are American ones. Funnily enough, because people keep telling me that I'm being propagandized. But then I only watch the propaganda from like Fox News, basically, mostly, just because that's the only news sources that I get on Twitter, because no one posts anything else other than Fox News on Twitter. But I haven't seen anything on Twitter. It's just from people in real life telling me, and then I obviously looked it up. I was curious how it is. Rumor has it, crypto reserve announcement is coming. Get ready for another dump. I mean, if that is the case, that'd be kind of sad, right? People need to stop with this shit. Just buy this thing without any of it. But yeah, anyway, TA wise, right? Like, let's get back to TA, because that's what like a lot of you guys are here for. For whatever reason, me drawing on the chart is something that people want to watch. Cannot even draw a straight line. Look, I tried, didn't work, but is what it is. So Reclaim would be really, really bullish. Until then, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and as Cred would say, don't diddle in the middle. I tend to diddle in the middle a lot, but in this case, I don't really have a setup. I don't really feel like increasing or adding leverage at all. If we reclaimed 90k, then I would be tempted to do so, right? And if we nuked further, I would also be tempted to do so, because I think the move is already quite extended to the downside. This is all basically off of like the S&P just dumping a bunch. So if we got another dump, I think the move would be much oversized to like how it should be. And then that would be a really good setup. Now, generally, if I didn't have any exposure, right, I would have probably been like on the lower time frames trying to find a setup to get long, just because I think we are already extended here. And then there's a chance that it doesn't overextend, right? So basically a move down would be an overextension, and I think that's almost guaranteed to make you money, but it's also not necessarily 100% ever gonna happen, right? And I think the chances of us kind of like closing below 80, this is what I've been talking about, right, on the show, like that I think we're gonna like bottom around the 80s, just from like a gut feeling. And we haven't had a weekly close below 80 at all. We've been around 80, but we haven't closed below 80 yet. And the reason for that is just basically if you get this oversized move to the downside, I think that'd be a sign of weakness, that we can even get that low. It would obviously bounce. Like, I think it's almost guaranteed you get anywhere where there's a 6 in the front or even low 70s. You get like a a decent sized bounce, but I think that would be a sign of weakness, right? So if you want to see the market be just generally strong, you would want to hold 80. And so far we've done it. Confirmation of that would be a reclaim of 90, like I said. And then you have like a pretty good setup, right? Like you reclaim somewhere here, and then like the setup, something like that. And then the target is like new highs into 120, 230, whatever. And that's a decent trade, right? Even if you have to take it a little bit higher because the market runs away from you, like it's still a decent trade. Right now, it's still a little bit uncertain. And it does, and people keep commenting about it, like they're hating that I'm talking about politics. And I can explain that real quick, right? When nothing is happening, right? Like for the Trump fans, right? And I mean, it doesn't really matter what I think about him or not. For the Trump fans, right? Just think back to Biden's era, right? Everyone was like, this guy is just sleeping at his job. He's doing nothing, right? And that's for markets like a really good thing. You don't have to give a shit about politics. The only like exciting things were when they were kind of like fighting crypto, which was obviously not great. I was hating on it. Their stance on crypto was stupid. But that was the only times where it was actually like having an impact on our market, right? Because they were not doing anything. They were just running the country as usual. Whereas right now, what Trump is doing is not anything usual, right? So basically, by him changing, like just generally the landscape of global markets, like he's having an influence on markets with tariffs. He's doing a lot of crypto stuff. He's doing a lot of just general war stuff that is very hard to predict, and also just not necessarily the usual stance of America, right? And all of that is going to have a large impact on markets. So if you're kind of annoyed by me talking about politics, there's not been a period of time other than like the prior Trump administration, but even that like was tame in comparison to what's happening now, that had even close to an impact as politics has right now. So basically, if Trump calms down and doesn't do shit anymore, which I think would be like just generally a good thing for markets, then we don't have to talk about politics at all. Like I don't care about gender politics. I don't care about all of that shit. Like whatever. Like you're not gonna hear me talk about it, no matter what my opinions are on it, because like who the fuck cares? It's a market show, right? But obviously politics is gonna have an impact right now on markets if politics is kind of like going ham on markets generally. Probably lost all the Trump fans anyway in prior shows, but that's the explanation of why I talk about this stuff. It's not because I want to talk about it, it's because it just has a large impact. And I think generally we are in this instance where like if Trump calms down, we're gonna bounce big time. It just kind of feels that way. The market's been pushed lower and lower, and it really like doesn't want to go lower. But all of this like tariff talk and all of the war talk and all of that stuff has severe implications for the market. It's pushed it down. If Trump reverses on any of it, we're gonna have a really nice, at least relief rally. I think most people with a brain understand that you're pretty rational. I mean, I try to be, but the YouTube comments have been like losing their shit, and I'm like, I don't understand. But maybe I just haven't made it clear enough, like that's just how it works, right? Politics are part of fundamental analysis if it's part of a trader's job. Yeah, I mean the cool thing about crypto, right? And I will say this: the cool part about crypto was that it wasn't like didn't really matter too much. We could just do our thing and it would largely work out just fine, even if you didn't watch traditional markets. The fact of the matter is now the market is much bigger. So the traditional markets have much bigger of a role to play, especially now that we have all the ETF integration as well. But yeah, basically TLDR, TLDW, above 90 looks really good. Dip into 70, I mean, that's clear, like that's free money to me at least. 70 to 60K, you can trade that into 80 easily, I think. That'll be a free money trade, at least I think so. Obviously never guaranteed, but and then right now where we are, this could be a false breakout and that'd be great. But it's unproven right now, and generally when it's not entirely certain, it's good to be a little bit cautious. But I'm still just chilling. I haven't changed any of my positioning majorly. I'm just not doing too much. But I will do things if we get to 70 or if we get above 90 more aggressively. Now on the daily time frame, we front ran daily support, which I think is good. In a bull market, this is what you want to do. You want to front run support. That's actually the best thing that you can have. We got rejected here by prior support. And today we're kind of like poking above it a little bit. It'd be nice to close above there. Like it's just a better look. I think this is better. So basically that was the resistance. Now we're kind of like trading above it, but not significantly. Be nice if we traded like closed above there. That would open the door to walk back up. And honestly, if we walk back up into that like 90K resistance, I think there's very little chance that it will hold, right? So if you're a bear and you're looking for, like you want to be bearish, I think this is a pretty good spot, right? So basically we ran all of the highs of this consolidation. It's kind of a news pump-ish, not necessarily, but just generally the S&P popped, Bitcoin popped a little. I think this is basically the best place to make a stand, like the most likely place to make a stand as a bear. But you also kind of have to realize that if you're a bear and you're betting on downside here, you're betting on this fully breaking down, right? And then because I see a lot of bears that are like, okay, I'm gonna short here and then I'm gonna close at 83 or whatever. I think that's a little bit foolish. Like if you're right, being bearish here, you can take this back towards like the low 80s, if not full breakdown towards 70. So that's kind of like where you can make a stand as a bear if you want to. As a bull, if we get anywhere close to 90, I think it's probably gonna pop to the upside. Like basically, if we do something like this, I think what's gonna happen is basically a candle like this, and then you trade at 96, and everyone's like, how the fuck did that happen? It's a drift upwards. This is how it usually resolves, right? So that would be the bullish case, and then the bearish case would be getting rejected from this area here. It's resistance after all, and then further downside. If we hit 70K, how high would we bounce? I think 80K, and then you just wait and see, basically depending on how strong it is. My ETH might get back to break even if that happens. That'd be nice, huh? I mean, like if I didn't have XRP, I'd lose my shit on ETH. Like this, I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever, ETH's gonna move whenever it's gonna move. But that's because I have the luxury of holding XRP from basically 0.6. So it's trading like up 4x still. And it's been outperforming the entire time. Like, look at that. This is the XRP BTC chart. You wouldn't realize that all the other altcoins are getting completely wrecked against Bitcoin, right? When you look at this, like look, all of these Bitcoin pairs, right? Look at that. Can go through all of them. Basically, they're all like in an endless down move. And then you look at the XRP and you're like, what the fuck? Like, how does this work? Don't ask me. Crime probably, but that's obviously a good thing for the XRP holders. That's why it's holding up so well against USD2. ETH now looks bad. Yeah, we'll talk about ETH. But that's Bitcoin basically at resistance right now. If that breaks and we start walking up slowly, that'd be really nice. If we get rejected here, I'm gonna ready myself to buy the dip at 70. I honestly don't think so. I don't think we're gonna get there. Probably 80K holds, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I would like to trade, but I'd be a little bit sad for the cycle, because I think if we go back to 70 or 60, I think the cycle's pretty much done, and all you can hope for is a relief rally. And if we hold up and go back up, maybe we can make a little bit of a higher high, like at 110, 120, maybe even 130. Not really aiming for much more than that. But yeah, so basically reclaim 90 and then like these nicer numbers open up again. And I would like that very much. But if it doesn't happen, we get 70, I'll trade into 80, maybe 85, something like that. And then chill and trade something else. Is the Litecoin dream done? Looks bad again. I'll wait for the monthly close on Litecoin. And we'll talk about it in 11 days or whenever. I think 11, 12 days. Until then, it's not really that interesting. But I still don't necessarily dislike it. Is it really crime if it's legal now? Good question. I mean, if you legalize crime, is crime still crime? And if not, what is it then? Wonder what would push us to 70K regarding politics. I mean, like, let's say Trump pushes harder on Canada or Mexico or invades one of them, which seems unlikely to me. That doesn't really make any sense. But a lot of the stuff he's done don't really make sense to me, so it's really hard to judge him. And this is also another thing, like if me, someone that's kind of like been around like his biggest advocates for years and has seen him do whatever he has done, doesn't really like isn't 100% sure what he's gonna do, then the market's obviously gonna spook as well. I think that's kind of what we've been dealing with a lot. Is basically people are like, he's actually willing to do more damage than we thought, and that's being priced in by market going down. Where's Cred? Again, excuses. Cred's only ever here on Fridays. He had decided to skip on Mondays. Don't ask me why. Like, you're gonna have to get that answer out of him. I tried, but he usually is only here on Fridays. It's not a co-show every day. It's supposed to be Monday Cred, Wednesday me, Friday both of us. But yeah. Anyway, that's Bitcoin. Pretty straightforward. ETH has rallied today and has like held up a little bit in the last few days. Honestly, not much to talk about. We had a weekly close below our famed 1937 line, which is not great. We are currently snapping back above it. So 4 days to hold that, that'd be good. But just generally, like for me, like I talked about, like putting, like adding leverage or adding risk on Bitcoin, and that would be 90K. For ETH, for me, above this would be interesting. And to the downside, cannot really go anywhere where I would want to add leverage, unless it like just goes down 50% in one day. At that point, I'd be like, okay, fuck it. That seems free. But for me, like 2.8, basically my average. Like we cross back above my average on the spot. Awful to say, bought 2.8, it's now trading at 2. Like that's just not very nice, especially since it went to 4 in between. But that's just how it goes, right? When you're holding spot and you're like, the market's not quite done yet, and then it just like spits in your face. Anyway, for me to take a leverage trade that I can be forced out of, I would want to see exceptional strength, and that would be at 2.8. Now, obviously, to some of you, like you want to have a lower entry. And 2K seems decent enough, but I mean, for me to make a good TA argument, you would have to at least close above this. Like close this month green, and then we can start talking about it, right? Then I actually don't really hate it. It's a nice monthly chart, like buying the dip on the monthly, and I mean, this is what people are doing here already. Right? You have like the support-ish, but I would like a monthly close above this. And then, I mean, then it's not that bad. But that's still like 12 days to go. So we'll see how that goes. ETH BTC still struggling. There's really not that much to say about it. It is capitulating, can capitulate longer. It's really hard to say. XRP, on the other hand, has some clean lines. We talked about it last week when we were trading at 2, and I was like, this is support. Now we're traded all the way into resistance, But this just looks good to me. Like maybe I'm tripping. Like people have been calling me like an XRP shill, whatever. It's funny because I was known as the biggest XRP hater for years, and the XRP community hated the shit out of me, which I find quite funny, right? Like I've shit talked XRP since 2018, and people have forgotten and now call me an XRP shill, which I find quite funny, just because I was like, I think this is gonna go up, and it went up. But I kind of feel like it's gonna go up more, like just as long as the market generally goes up. And the reason why is because this is exceptional strength, right? Like compare XRP BTC to Sol BTC, or like XRP to Sol in general. Like that's some insane strength against the like one of the best altcoins this cycle, right? Basically reclaimed the entire Solana pump, right? So basically XRP and Solana performed exactly the same this cycle. And the USD chart of XRP looks quite good, whereas the Solana chart is barely holding on, right? But still it's decent, like Solana is still decent. But and then you compare it to anything else, like whatever you want, like we can even do ETH just to shit on my own backs. Like this is the XRP chart against ETH, right? It's back to levels of 2020. It's gone up from the lows to the highs of like 800%. Some exceptional strength, just generally, even in the last few weeks, as you saw on the Solana chart. It's the same with like, let's say XRP against Doge, right? Because it's another one. You can see how strong this has been on a relative basis, and you can pit it against almost anything. And the last few weeks have just, like, I don't care about this this move here. I care about this recent kind of slow crawl, because what it basically means, like when XRP BTC is sideways and the other altcoins are going like this, is that you just have like exceptional strength. When you have like Doge goes like this, and or like let's say Doge goes like this and XRP goes like this, I wouldn't necessarily even call this exceptional strength, because they're both moving in the same direction. One is just going harder. But when you have something that just moves against everything else, that's exceptional strength, right? So like you have a coin that goes up while everything goes down, like that's really good. But in this current environment, I'm even surprised, like I'm impressed by going sideways while the entire altcoin market disappears, right? So incredible strength. Yeah, I don't know what these paintings are, but yeah, looks quite good to me. So as long as the market goes, like keeps going up, I think this is gonna continue going up. It's basically, and it's gonna be like basically one of the strongest coins, at least from the big ones. Basically one big move up into one big consolidation, right? So basically, this is where we are right now in this consolidation. And most of the time, in my experience, when you get something like this, you get another pop. Usually smaller than the first one, but still sizable enough. And that's kind of what I'm betting on. That's why I'm still holding a bunch. I did take profit on a little bit above like 3. Basically, every time we make a new high, I sell a little bit. But I am still expecting more. XRP is the trade of this cycle. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's the brain dead play. And the reason for it is basically because they're exactly what TradFi, and I mean, it's clear that retail doesn't really have money, right? Like even Sailor is going for TradFi now. It's what TradFi likes. It's not what is good for the ecosystem. It's what TradFi likes. And that's why I'm positioned the way I am. Smells like reaccumulation. That's kind of my guess. But if the market generally goes down, like if Bitcoin goes and ends the cycle, then that's gonna be a really bad call in hindsight. But if Bitcoin holds on, I think, and if altcoins generally, like the moment you see a little bit of altcoin strength, I think XRP is gonna outperform. Have you lowered your ETH and XRP targets at all? Or are they still 7K and $10? Yeah, 7K XRP and $10 for ETH. I know it's roughly still the same. Like if XRP gets anywhere close to $10, I'll dump everything and just be happy with what I got. And if ETH gets to 7K, I probably do the same. Don is moving either to New Zealand or Australia. The only two still decent English-speaking countries. I've done it 6 years ago. I recommend. Well, we'll see. We'll see, my friend. I mean, there's a lot of English-speaking countries in the world. But yeah, decent ones, more difficult to find. But yeah, so far, like I said, it's nothing concrete. Which one? I mean, I'll tell you once I move. Anyway, yeah, that's XRP. Just looks good. Litecoin kind of got scuffed by this move down, but we still have 12 days, and as long as it closes anywhere in that green box, I'm still bullish Litecoin. Solana, also an interesting spot. Look at that. We talked about this level 126. This is so cursed, man. 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, whatever, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Would be better to move off of this. I don't like it. I don't like it. But it is support, right? So if you want to be bullish, maybe it keeps holding. I generally don't like it, but given the fact that I think the market should move up, I know that, but I could be wrong. It's a support, but I don't want to say anything bullish, because like let's say Bitcoin breaks down here, like this goes to fucking Hades, like $80 in a straight line. So like it's really hard to be bullish here on Solana. But if Bitcoin holds up, this is also the best support that you have. So if I get to sell ETH above 6K, I will make a vow to never trade it again. Nah, I love trading ETH. Even, I mean, this has been the most painful ETH trade of my entire career. Last time I bought ETH properly was down here. I still remember this so well. Like it was trading it, like I literally got the Pico bottom, and I got it spot, and then I got a BitMEX long. And I didn't really fully understand how the BitMEX system worked, because the BitMEX long was a little bit different to like what you would now be used to. So basically when price went up, the contract that you longed also got more valuable. And when price went down, the contract also got less valuable. So basically you got double the gains and double the downside back in the day. Funding was terrible. It's the biggest downside back then. But basically I got like 84 and got instantly rewarded for it. And then it went towards like 150, and I was like already like, holy shit. And then it went all the way towards like 260, 300, and I just lost my mind basically. Because the contract itself, like I was already like, holy shit, this is the trade, like this is the trade. And then like I logged into BitMEX, and I was like, holy shit, why I'm up like almost twice as much as I should be. Turns out I didn't really understand the contract itself. Downside was obviously also double what I expected, but so that was a trade, good trade, but by accident. I mean, it's not, the trade wasn't by accident, but the gains were almost double what they should be just by accident. But yeah, that was fun, and this one's less fun. I gotta say that. I just blew my account today shorting. Hate to hear that, my friend. Hate to hear it. What does your gut tell you about Bitcoin, up or down from here? My gut's been like, I generally think it's more likely to go up than down. But also I've kind of like felt that way in this, like since like 93, 94K. So we're down below that. So maybe I'm just wrong. But right now I kind of like I'm chilling. I'm not like I still hold my XRP, I still hold my ETH, still hold my Litecoin, just like whatever. Should be fine, right? First time that the US is embracing crypto, crime cycle, should be fine. And but to be fair, right? Like I think my opinion is a little bit like it's, I'm not as accurate as I used to be, and I think it's just the reason because I'm just looking at it very differently. So back in the day, like I just told you, like I talked about the ETH trade that I took back then. Um, like I was trying to squeeze every single dollar out of this market as I could, right? And there's not even close to what I'm trying now, right? Like I just right now I'm just basically like I think there's more left, but it doesn't really matter if I get the Pico bottom, and it doesn't really matter if I get the Pico top. Whereas back then I was like hunting for the perfect entry and looking for the perfect exit, much more, right? So like I just trade less nowadays, and I don't have to bother with oh I'm down 10% or oh I'm up like on XRP for example like I bought 0. 0.6 and back in the day I would have sold like at 1 or 2 or 3 like everything because I would have been like okay this is more like this is a huge move and I'm gonna de-risk. Now I'm just more like okay I want to have a little bit of a position just in case it does what I think it can do, because if it does what I think it can do I'll be more upset that I just closed it than I would be by giving back a lot of it. And back then I was like, if I give this back, I'm gonna have to go back and work a normal job at some point. And I'm not at that point anymore. So it's just a different kind of me, you know. That's why a lot of people have commented on the fact that I seem to care less, and I just do. It's just how it is. And also the market just changed drastically. Back in the day, there was multiple times where we almost went to zero. Nowadays, like I don't think Bitcoin is going to zero anymore. Summer vacation would be awesome. Yeah. Hopefully we get good weather. I mean, I would also like it if it just went up only and I can just sit in bags and do very little and enjoy the sun while doing so. But yeah, that's that. That's ETH. Like I said, rough. Solana we talked about. There's others, but it's really nothing interesting. Someone asked about Dogecoin. Generally, with anything Elon, right? And people hate me for this, but I think besides in America, Elon is losing popularity everywhere and rapidly so. And I don't think there's any way he can gain that reputation back. So you basically have like a tiny American market, which is obviously important. It's the financial kind of like headquarter of the world. But I think he's kind of bitten off more than he can chew. Like there's a reason why big companies stay out of politics, right? Like it's a dumb thing to do even for normal people, right? Even for me to talk about politics on Twitter, if I wanted to make any money with Twitter, it'd be a really fucking stupid thing to do, right? Because at the end of the day, like you're gonna piss people off and you're gonna lose deal flow, you're gonna lose friends, it just only has downsides, right? There's a reason why the only people talking about politics are like either like just politics influencers, right? Because that's how they make their money with the drama and whatever, and politicians, right? Like you look around and you don't really see many kind of like CEOs or whatever openly align themselves too strongly with any parties. And the reason for that is quite simple. It's because, especially in America, half of America hates the other half, right? So if you openly align yourself very strongly with one side, you alienate 50% of the population. And I think that's kind of what's happened with Elon. And that's why Tesla is going down. People are like, oh, Tesla is going down because of the boycotts. I don't necessarily think so. I think one, it's already like quite overvalued in a way. A lot of promises of the future are already built in it, but also it's because, like, what's the upside? Like, how are you gonna get more people to buy this thing? And the answer is I think it's quite hard. Like, retail's, like, around the world, is not gonna necessarily come back in something like this. Torch reputation is torch reputation. And I think the same is true for Doge. It has the Elon factor. Elon is priced in on Doge, and I think that portion cannot really go up anymore. So you need another reason for Doge to go up. And it's Dogecoin, so there's really no fundamental reason to go up. And then you have like a drag of sorts. It's why, like, when like I sold it a while ago. Basically, Trump launched his meme coin, and I was like, okay, like, because there's another possibility, right? Like, the Elon just is like, fuck it, I'm gonna launch a meme coin, and then Dogecoin just craters because the last bit of the Elon supporters go, chase the new thing. This was the reason why I ended up selling, like, in the 40s. Now we're trading like more than 50% lower. I generally think if the market goes up, this obviously goes up with it, but I don't really see like the X factor. Like XRP is gonna outperform because it has this and that drag. Like, it can drag these people in. I think Dogecoin doesn't really have that. I think other meme coins are better positioned because they don't have that, like, downside of the Elon drag. Actually, you're not shying away from speaking your mind about politics. Makes me respect you more, Don. I mean, I appreciate it, but you're one of the very few, and I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, it's like sports teams in a way, at least in America. It's not like this in Europe, but in America, it's sports teams, and people love their sport team. In Europe, it's just like everyone fucking hates politicians, and you can talk about any politician in Europe, and people are not gonna be too upset about it, even if they're like voting that person. They're like in Europe, it's like, I have to vote this guy or this cunt or this, like, and then they're like, I'll choose the least shitty one. And in America, it's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'll put some flags up for Trump, or I'm gonna put some stickers on my car for Biden or for Harris or whatever. And it's like, it's so alien to have anyone that I grew up with. Like, people like this, fucking insane. So I think that's just basically it. It's very straightforward. I think you want to stay away from anything Elon. The only way he can come back, and the only way that I can see, like, his companies doing sorta well, is by, honestly, like, by corruption. And I'm not sure that's gonna happen. But, like, if he manages to kind of like convince Trump to just give him a bunch of deals and kind of leverage his influence to make money off the government, then maybe. But I mean, if you're assuming that's going to happen on a large enough scale to offset what's kind of been happening, I think you're just very bearish. You're just very bearish America at that point. Like, that would have to be considerable levels of crime, and I think that just be generally bearish. There's a reason why, like, people look up to America for a general sort of fairness, and I think that would go out the window. You say that, but the right wing is 20% in Germany. Yeah, but I can tell you, like, at least 15% of those 20% are not very happy voting for it. And I mean, like, people voted the AfD in Germany because they don't really think other parties are taking the immigration problem serious enough. They're like very, very few are actual fans of it. I'm long on Elon, but can we move on from the political talk? Yeah, of course. But that's kind of like this. When you ask me about Doge, you kind of like, that's just how it is. It's part of the reason why I'm not gonna buy it. But yeah, other than that, like, ADA has been one of the coins Trump has talked about, but he kind of abandoned it. So that's where this recent candle comes from. And it doesn't really have the normie appeal that XRP does, I think. What about Fartcoin? I haven't looked at Fartcoin in ages. I mean, that's a pretty strong move. Doesn't look too bad to me. It's just kind of, I think it's like, this is a coin where it's pretty clear that it's looking for direction from Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin goes up, like, this looks decent. It's one of the few meme coins that are actually like a little bit funny. So take that as you will. But it is at resistance this moment. Same as Bitcoin, really. Imagine if we could short personalities. Yeah, I don't think that'd be very good. Like, people are already getting, like, one thing that I gotta say, like, people are already getting dragged so much nowadays. Like, social media is so bad for this. Like, and I can tell you this from personal experience. Like I tweet about a politician I dislike, or like something that I dislike, and I get so many people just kind of like trying to drag me for whatever they can find. It's like people get upset about opinions so much. So if you can show personalities, people are just gonna drag you more. I think we should get money out of things more and not the opposite. But the opposite is happening. The same with sports. Like, sport betting is so fucked up, man. Like, people all over the world are addicted to gambling, and it's funny coming from me, right, as a trader by trade. But I know how bad it is. I've seen a lot of people kind of lose everything gambling in crypto. And I think, like, involving sports in this is just such a fucked up thing to do. Like, at some point, people just don't have any hobbies that don't involve money anymore, and then it's just like, it's brain rot. Like, it's just like, people can only watch sports if they bet money on it, and then they get addicted to gambling, and then they lose everything, and it's just so fucked up. Can you just pull up the Tesla chart for the lulls? I mean, I haven't looked at it in a while, but it's bad. I know. Yeah, I mean, it's brutal. It's still not, like, it's still just basically lost just a Trump pump, right? Like, people are already losing their mind. I mean, rightfully so. This is a stock, and it's down like 50%, but it's still only lost a Trump pump. That's mainly because Twitter IQ is very low. That I can agree with you. Tesla is a good buy right now. I don't know. There's a million other stocks I'd be more interested in. But for like a little bit of a bounce, I mean, it's down 50%, and maybe it bounces towards like 290. Maybe, yeah. But for like a longer term play, I think it's not necessarily the best. People asking me for stock market coins, Jesus Christ. Oh man, I'm talking about brain rot, and my brain's completely rot from crypto. We'll keep with stuff that I actually can talk about with at least an ounce of knowledge to my name. Do you have any opinion when alt season might start? I mean, right now would be good. Other than that, not really, no. Stock market coins, lol. Do you buy any stocks? Yes, but I will not talk about it. I mean, just ask your mom or your brother or whatever. I have not like, I'm not smarter than any of them. I am very new in all of that, but I am diversifying. Like, with every year that goes by, and this is why I'm so chill about crypto. With every year that has gone by, and especially with this last cycle, I have pulled out money from the market. Like, my portfolio for the longest time was 100% crypto. And then I started slowly taking chunks off and putting it somewhere else. And the percentage of crypto, right, if this crypto has gone down every year. And this rally especially, I've been diversifying from crypto, and it's been really nice. It's been making holding much easier. Like, if crypto goes to zero, I would still lose a lot. It'd not be great, but I'd be fine. And any other year before, I would not have been. just got scammed by Trader XO and SC. Those guys are insufferable. Yeah, I mean, they tend to do a lot of things that I find, I mean, just not, it's not okay. But I mean, I've had a lot of public fights with them. Hey Don, are you looking to new chains without backholders like Krakens? Not really, no. I'm just too lazy. But I think it's a good way to, like, just generally, if you're new and if you're kind of like, if your portfolio is small, the best thing you can do is something like you just proposed. You look at new coins, new chains, you have a little bit of fun on the ecosystem. Maybe you get some airdrops even. And then if something happens, and that coin gains popularity, you already know what's going on, right? And then you can take advantage of your superior knowledge. I think it's much better than sitting in front of like Bybit or whatever and taking leverage trades like nonstop. But that's just me. SC is a douche. I don't know why someone would have anything against XO though. They are literally this, like, they have the same agent. I know their agent. I've actually met him in real life. So if you have something against SC and you like XO, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but they have the same managers of sorts, or used to have at least. I'm not up to date, but like. Up until like at least a year ago was the same. Like, so I mean, it's just how it is. There's a whole group. There's a whole big CT group that is all kind of like run with the same background. It's just one guy getting deal flow for these people, and then they basically get paid, and he gets paid too for getting the deal flow, and he has a little bit of influence because he has so many influences, and then that's how it works, you know. Like there's one guy running around between coins and kind of like looking for the biggest payday, and then if he finds something where you get paid a lot, he goes towards like that group of like I mean, it's just British, like most of the British people on CT are actually on it. Cred being a rare one that isn't, and then he just pitches it to them, and most of the time, like you will get people to get on it. And if you think like your favorite British person is not doing it, if you see any coins where they comment in the comment section, because this is like a common strategy of these, like they post like eye emojis or whatever. To like a launch means that they got in that before, and that's just not telling you. But that is how it works. Tell us the names. I mean, just a bunch, like XOSC. There's a bunch more, but they're so irrelevant that I don't even, like, I would have to go through CT to actually even check because I just forget their names. But it's a lot of the British CT like group, which is really fucking sad. Kobe not for sure. I mean, Kobe no, obviously not. Kobe is also not in Britain. He's in Japan, as far as I'm aware. Everyone's like Kobe. No, man. I mean, obviously Kobe is like much bigger fish. He's not in there. I haven't seen XO post a low cap altcoin in ages, but to each their own. I mean, maybe he's changed his ways, but he has done a shitload of these in the past. I don't follow either of them, so I cannot confirm or deny it. I just know that they're involved in that group. I cannot stand it. It's disgusting to me. Kobe bought ETH today. Yeah, I mean, he better buy a little bit more of it so I get back to break even. How much do you need, Don, to log out of CT bullshit? I mean, right now it's still fun. I was very close to just like deleting it at some point because it just got like fucking stupid. But then the market nuked and most of the dumb shit just disappeared. And right now it's quite fun, like from time to time checking in on it. And there's a lot of people that I don't usually keep up with, but that I'm still somewhat friends with. I don't really talk with anyone besides Cred, but it's nice to just get updated on some people that I've already met in real life or whatever. From time to time. And I mean, CT is something that I grew up with basically, right? Like my entire professional career has been like ever since I went full time, I joined CT. I mean, I went full time a little bit before joining CT, but still. So a lot of time spent there. So right now it's still fun. Because of Ansem and Whiff, I mean, part of it, yeah. I mean, I got a lot of people just like, that was insane how much hate I got, and I was just like, I mean, these people are just gonna lose everything, and no matter what I say, they're gonna do it, and then I still get shit for it. Like, it's just stupid. But just generally, the vibe was very off. It's a little bit better now, but I think, I mean, CT is only getting worse, cycle over cycle. Why is Kobe so important to the space? Because he's been around for a long time, and he's not necessarily been bad at predicting where the market's gonna go. At least in the last couple of years. Still remember that, like in 2017-18 at top, he was quite bearish. Actually retweeted me when I was like, it's gonna die after we hit 20K, and he was quite bullish at the just generally at the lows usually. So people like him also, just the personality. Lots of people went full time at McDonald's these last couple of months. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, right? These like the biggest idiots just come and go, right? Like they come and then they like think they're the best and know everything, and then they get taught a different lesson from the market. How are your XRP meme trades via Telegram going? I think decent-ish. I don't know. I haven't looked in a while. I mean, they're not that good. I think I'm basically break even right now. I haven't looked in a while though. I was up like several $100,000 actually at some point. I think I'm break even now, but I don't remember. But still holding them. The XRP season at some point. Nah, I don't fucking know. I don't believe in any memes, right? So I think these are probably gonna go to zero as well. Just having a little bit of fun. The reason why I even have them in the first place is just because I was like, if you're already gonna have some fun, at least I'll do it with on the chain that like with some of the proceeds that I made from the XRP trade, and then I'll just keep it on the XRP chain. But yeah, doesn't really matter. I care more about the XRP portion going up than the memes itself. Largest XRP meme is 18 million somehow. I bought it 80 million. Yeah. I think I bought it at like 20, like the majority of what I have. But I don't nail me on it. So yeah, Don, is this the last year for you in crypto? No, I'll always have some crypto exposure, I think, because what I have realized, and I'll end the show on this. What I realized when I did this whole thing, right? Because I was kind of sick and tired of crypto for a while, and I was like, okay, I'll just cut this into pieces and then go buy some TradFi shit and then be done with it. But what I have realized is that it's really hard to buy. Like there's just not that much shit to buy in the world. So like when you make it into a pie, like having crypto in some part of it, just kind of like, why not? So I will not sell everything. Probably. I don't wanna necessarily. Don't kind of pin me on this, because if crypto goes crazy, I might just be like, okay, fuck it, this is enough. But I always have a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of ETH. With the rest, probably not. So basically, you committed treason. Yeah, I mean, I've just found out that like there's less stuff to buy nowadays than I thought there would be. maybe you will find a passion that requires funds and you will never retire. I mean, there's not really that much. Like trading is fun, but I don't necessarily want to do it forever. But yeah, I think that's enough for today. It's a long show. I actually wanted to keep it short, but you guys have been fun to chat to. Thank you for coming by. Big shout out to Woo for sponsoring the show. Appreciate their support. Much love to all of you guys, and we'll talk to each other again on Friday, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I actually have a lot of things to do on Friday, so maybe not Friday, but on the weekend at some point. Much love. Bye bye.